is the art life. In cinema, there's many filmmakers that make films primarily to make money, and that was more called entertainment. I love money like everybody else, but probably I would do the things that I'd like to do for free. The most valuable thing I could impart to new filmmakers is what I always say: find your own voice. Be true to that voice. Never give up final cut and total creative freedom. Never take a bad idea, but never turn down a good idea. And I just like this process of catching ideas that I fall in love with and then realizing those ideas. And I like all these different steps of creating something. I love being in it, and I feel that when you're really in it, more ideas flow. Get into it deeper and deeper, and it's a thrilling ride. All these different art forms are thrilling to the soul. So if you love the ideas that come along, that I deep love, you will find a way to realize those. I always say ideas are everything. So I go where the ideas lead. It could be to the painting studio, it could be to an office to work on a computer, it could be sound, room to work on sound. You go where the ideas are telling you to go, where you're fired up to do this or that, and that leads you, to those places. There's nothing without an idea. We don't know what to do without an idea. And the idea tells us everything. So it's common sense that ideas are super important. And I love the idea of catching ideas. And they're out there, millions and millions of ideas, and we don't know them until they enter the conscious mind. And then we know them, and we see them and hear them and feel them. We know the mood of them, even if it's just a small segment of what could be a whole film or a painting or whatever. We fall in love with it for some reason. Something inside us says, this is a great idea for me. And then you write that idea down on a piece of paper in such a way that when you read what you wrote, the idea comes back in full. Super important to write down your ideas so you don't forget them. I think I've forgotten 3 incredible ideas in my life. So write down your ideas and save them because it's very important. And then we can talk more about pitching ideas, but I do equate pitching ideas with the thing of fishing. You have to have patience, and I say a desire for an idea is like a bait on a hook. And it's like putting a little piece of bait on a hook and lowering it into the water. And then you don't know when they're going to come or what will trigger them. But lo and behold, on a lucky day, bing blows, and then more come in, and then you start seeing something emerge, and finally the puzzle's finished. When we get an idea that we love, it feels very, very good. You see it and feel it and know it all at once, but it's all at once, and it comes with I'll say like a spark of electricity, inspiration kind of thing, But then you kind of calm down and more, leisurely examine it. And on examining it, it's like you turned on your TV and the first thing was like white flash. And then it kind of, comes in to image. And that's the image. Then out comes the sound. And you just see it. And then you write down what you see and what you hear and the mood. And you feel very, very good. You got something. If it's a cinema idea, I like them for two reasons. One is the idea itself, and the other is the way cinema could say that idea. And then you got something. And all you have to do then is focus on that. And that focusing means rolling it back into the water on hook. And waiting. Supreme enlightenment, and we could talk about that sometime too. And intuition is tied tightly to consciousness. You can't just wish for more intuition. You can't just imagine you have more intuition. Same way with consciousness. You can't just wish for more. You can't just imagine more. You gotta go where it is and get more. It's like fishing. You can put your foot on a desert well, I don't have anything to say. Maybe you don't. But on the other hand, that might be the wrong way to look at it. What might be better is to just